Welcome to Coder Conversations. This is Kevin.
This is TC.
Yeah, what's been going on, man?
Ah, it's been going. It's been
Yeah,
going. Yeah. Um, Happy Big Monday, man. It's uh, it's a little
yeah.
rough out here. Like, but things are all right. Nothing too crazy.
Same old. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit same old, same old. Um, uh, what else? What can I say? Um, oh, I just heard about California's talking about doing a inflation relief stimulus. I just read that like an hour ago.
No,
And
I don't know
so,
how that's gonna work. That kind of seems counterproductive. Like they're gonna flood the market with more money.
right,
That's,
I don't understand the thought behind it, but it's like it'll roll out by October, I think. And I could be wrong. I didn't read the whole thing, but it had to do with to counteract the inflation. They'll give every Californian uh $1,050,
that's just gonna
and I'm
make
just like
everything go up.
I don't see the benefit, but thanks, and it's
Yeah.
all based on like the previous stimulus requirements, right? So you have to make less than $75,000 and all this other stuff. But yeah,
Mm.
I just read that. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Whenever they pass those stimuluses, it just makes inflation go up because companies say, "Oh, these guys got free money, so let's
Yep.
raise up the price." I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds good in theory, like, "Oh, yeah, it's so-called free money," but
Right. Exactly. Like it sounds good, but in reality, nah, not that much. It's not that good.
Right. And if you make over a certain amount, it's like you get nothing. So I mean,
Yeah. It's like, well, okay, it's good. It's good for everybody else.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I heard like I think more layoffs are gonna start happening. They're kind of talking about
Yeah.
more of these layoffs, especially if you're remote.
Mm. So they're
I
just
don't know,
gonna
like
cut people. Go ahead.
for whatever reason, these companies, like if you're remote, they say you got to be really good. Which I mean, that's how it always was. You know what I mean? Like if you
Yeah.
want to get a remote job, you have to be like good
Yeah.
for them to
Really
take
good.
that risk on you.
Yeah. It's scary, man. It's scary how like I can't imagine what it's like to join a Fang or a Mang, whatever they're called now, but like a
Mhm.
Fang level company and be remote at the same time.
Yeah,
Like that's got to be like stressful. Like the stress is still there, like all the time. You're working from home still, and you can get let go at any time.
I
Yeah,
guess like your one big benefit would be the fact that you have them on your resume. You just get another job pretty easy. But
yeah, yeah. But I think that it's real easy for people to just be let go. Like I had this conversation earlier today
hmm
uh, with my team lead. 'Cause we started doing a couple of layoffs as well, and
hmm
um, and the conversation kind of went like like some these things happen, right? And and you're everybody's being affected, right? It's not
yeah,
just one side of the coin, right? Everybody's being affected by this. It's kind of funny to think about, right? Nobody wants to work these low end jobs, right? But
hmm
then and then like in I guess you could say like higher level like career based jobs, like people are having a hard time paying their employees and keeping people, right? It almost makes job hopping scary. Like it's almost like you know if you hop, then what's the likelihood that you can get canned for any old reason? And then if you stay like with your current company, what's the likelihood that they'll stay afloat? It's like It's a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? It's really difficult to make that decision. Like, what's in your best interest?
Right. Like I just think like, even if you stay, you can get canned too. So it's like, uh, do you just want to take that risk and try to maybe make more money, or just stick around? I guess it makes sense if you're like really ingrained in your current company
Yeah,
that you would stick around, because like it'll be a little harder to lay you off. But
right.
you know, yeah, I guess that's why it always pays to live beneath their means, man. Because we always talk about this, like how are people going to survive if they're losing their jobs, and
Right.
rent is like 3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Like
But yeah,
3 months of that is what, almost
ten
ten
thousand,
thousand
ten thousand
dollars.
dollars. Oh, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that, man.
Man,
Oh,
man, when I just think about it, okay, 3 months is 10,000. Do that for a full year.
that's
Uh,
120, right? 10,000. Well, no, I'm doing my math. My
that's
math
like
is all
forty
wrong.
thousand,
That's
right?
40,000. Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
And doing that for 10 years, that's 400,000.
400,000.
That's a house.
Yeah, I don't think I've been renting that long. 20. This is our first place rented at 24, 25. Yeah, I haven't been renting that long, but I can imagine like, I'm 7 years deep already, like renting, or 8 years now, or nine now, nine. Yeah, going on nine. Um, yeah, next year it'll be my 10th year of renting.
Man,
Um,
it's crazy how much money we just kind of threw down the drain doing that, instead of building equity or whatever.
yeah, but that's the thing, like, right? Like, how do you? That's a double-edged sword. Where like, how do you build? Like, in order to get a home, you have to have good credit, right?
Yeah.
They're not just gonna take anybody. You gotta have good credit, and you gotta have proof of income, right? So unless you're living with parents or couch surfing, like, well, while
Mhm.
you work and build up your credit, like, you gotta live somewhere, and
Right.
then that's where like rent comes into play.
We kind of did what we did out of necessity, because early on in your career too, like you can't really be glued to one location.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's a job all the way across town or in another city, then you don't want to be stuck in a house. You know.
Yeah. I used to drive all the way to Beverly Hills for one job. That didn't really last that long, but that commute
How
was killer. Like,
long was it?
it was it was, I would say, like 30 minutes out. I mean, I'm a super early like bird. Like, when I wake up, like I wake up at like, like 5:30, right? And like I would get there like when they opened around 7. And
Mm,
they didn't like that. They didn't like that because I would get there before the rest of the team. But I enjoyed that because I could circumvent all the traffic, right? I
right.
would, because in LA, things are just so congested. And
Mm,
but getting home, leaving from there, Beverly Hills, going back
yeah.
home, that was brutal. That was brutal. That was like an hour plus, just sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
It was
Like
not fun.
when I got my first coding job, man, the one-way commute was like 50 minutes in good traffic. So
Whoa.
bad traffic, like hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours. So it was just like I go to work, come back, it's already so late. So just like, and I'm tired, just take a shower, go to sleep, and repeat. Like
Yeah.
that's a nightmare, man.
Yeah. And then also, if you're not like planning your meals or whatever, then you just like, oh, I'll just stop somewhere and get something to eat, and like fast food and stuff. Like, I'm not against it, but I just feel like I guess as developers, um, or as people in general who work like super late jobs and stuff, and they get home and they don't have time to cook, it's so convenient and so unhealthy for you to eat fast food, right? And it's so easy to make it a habit to eat fast food because it's so convenient.
Yeah, like after you have like a 2 hour plus commute, you don't want to cook. You
Yeah,
don't.
Yeah.
And what's healthy that's open late? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't think any place is like quote unquote healthy that's open late. You know.
Like I can only think a couple of places that is healthy. Period. Well, maybe like Salada, which is like a salad type place.
Hmm.
I don't know. Is Subway's healthy?
Uh, I would consider it an healthy alternative to like if out of all the fast food places, I would consider it one of the healthier ones,
Okay.
like a Subway place, like a sandwich place.
I guess they got
Um,
a couple of Mediterranean joints, but that's about it.
yeah,
Like, do you
yeah.
consider tacos healthy? I mean, I guess it has like meat, lettuce.
Mm,
Like, is that
Probably
healthy?
the grease probably from the tortillas probably isn't healthy. But I mean,
Yeah,
if you look hard enough, you'll find like unhealthy parts of of
anything.
anything.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not trying to say like, oh, you shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't eat that, but like it it's just hard if you come home super late and you're just like,
Mhm.
man, I don't wanna cook. Just let me just pick up something, eat this, and then fall asleep, and then wake up the next day.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
like you just working to live, or you know what I mean, or living to work, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. That's crazy. So if you think about it, life can look somewhat depressing sometimes. Like if you just kind of think about you just doing the same thing until maybe you're your 50s or 60s, and hopefully you can retire and do
Yeah.
what you do.
And that's you know what's funny about that? I talked about this with somebody the other day, and it's like you don't have to do the same thing every day,
Mm,
right? Like subconsciously, yes, we're following like patterns that we've built into our into ourselves. Like for me, when I get nervous, I shake my leg when I talk, right? And so like that's a habit that I built up over time,
yeah,
and I use the word like as a filler word if I'm thinking of the next thing that I want to say. So like right there, right? So if I'm thinking of something, I'll just use the word like to give myself a breather. And and I feel like in life, when you do something, or when you think that all you do is this, like this is my routine, this is what I do Monday through Friday. Wednesdays I might do something different, but Monday through Friday I have this set routine schedule. You can switch it up, right? Like you don't have to do the same thing every day. You don't have to drive the same route to work. You don't have to eat at the same places. It's
I
just
just you know when your commute is so long though, it's almost like you're kind of locked in. Like, oh, I'm gonna be sitting in traffic 2 or 3 hours, go to work, do whatever I gotta do, come home, maybe clean, and you know what I mean. It's like how do you mix up things then? I guess you just
so
got to try to get a place close to where you work at or something. I don't know.
um well, if I have a 2 hour commute, right, and I know I'm gonna have a 2 hour commute, but like is it 1 hour one way and 1 hour back? That's what you're
Yeah,
saying? All right, so
yeah,
1 hour one way, 1 hour back, right? I would get an audiobook and I would play that in my car.
mhm,
And I would like, whether it's like Jordan Peterson or David Goggins or whatever, like just listen to something that you enjoy, right? Nora Roberts, or I picked
yeah,
up this book the other day, like Tracy Wolf. Like, do I expect to read it? Like, probably, but like, I just
mhm,
thought it was interesting. I pick it up and just do something different, shake it up, because
yeah,
that time that you could have, that time that you have in traffic can be used to do something.
yeah. I had to almost think about like when I was doing all that driving, I had to like imagine myself as like a trucker. Like, okay, it's just my job.
Yeah, it's a part of
Like,
your job.
they got to do that for like 8 hours a day or more. So
Yep.
like, how do you zone out and not get bored?
Yeah. Uh,
Like you say,
I
probably
was
audiobooks,
audiobooks, man. I'm telling you, like
podcasts.
podcasts, audiobooks, like for me, like something that I can listen to that I can resonate with, like
Mm,
something like this, or you know if just anything. right? Just you gotta find something, expose yourself to new things, man,
Yeah.
consistently. Don't get stuck in in a routine. And it's hard. It's I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to like to pull
Mm.
yourself out of the matrix like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because like routine is comfortable, so it's easy to just like, okay, go to work,
Right.
come home,
Yes.
watch our
Yeah.
TV, go to shower, go to sleep,
Yep.
repeat. You almost got to force yourself to break out of
Yeah.
that routine.
Yeah. Or have somebody like sit down and talk to you and be like, when's the
Mm.
last time you went on vacation? When's the last time you did this? When's the last time you did something that you enjoy doing? That didn't involve like coding and work and
Mm.
there, something that's outside of your routine, like completely outside of your routine.
Right.
Yeah, and then it becomes fun. To me, that's the fun of it. We're like, okay, I know my routine is this, but what can I do to mix it up?
Yeah, it's kind of like just forcing yourself to grow in a different way, like recreationally. Like people
Yeah.
don't think about that, but you have to do something different, even recreationally. Like
Yes.
you just
Yep.
your
Exactly.
only sense of recreation can't just be watching TV all day.
And let me ask you, what have you done different? What have you
Uh,
done to mix things up?
yeah, I've been to me and family. We went to, I don't know if you heard of Broken Bow. It's
Never heard
out
of
there
it.
in Oklahoma.
Nice.
Me and a bunch of my family rented like a cabin out there, like kind of like a mansion.
Yeah.
Just all chilled out there for a day. That's something different.
Cool.
And yeah, I'm trying to get out the house more, like just visiting new restaurants.
Yeah.
I was thinking about starting like a food-based TikTok, like, oh yeah, check this out. This is this restaurant. Just doing
Yeah.
something different.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, you can't. It, what's the worst that could happen? My dad used to always say that, right? I
You
mean, he
know,
still says it,
get
but
zero views, and if
you
you
know,
do, who cares?
exactly. At least you did it. You put it out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Like the worst thing that could happen is just like nothing. What you do it? You said you were gonna do it. You do it, and then
Mhm.
that's it.
Like like even with this podcast, we're not getting like a ton of views right now, but it's
Right.
just fun to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I bet if we have a recap episode and we go back to like one of our older
Mhm.
episodes, you'd be like, man, quality wasn't good.
Yeah.
The conversation wasn't good. This wasn't good. But like, I don't even know what number this is, right? But
Oh yeah.
let's say low 20s or the probably high 30s at this point, maybe.
And we're
Uh,
probably getting close to 40 because we've been doing this for a while.
yeah, and
Let me
I
let me
think
see.
yeah, man, there's definitely evolution and consistency, right? You're gonna see some change over time, and
Like the problem is like with YouTube, they just have a lot of gatekeeping. Like you
of
can't
course,
really.
you have to blow up. Yes, somebody has. It's very community based. Like the community has to blow you up.
So we
Yeah.
have about close to 60 episodes on
Really?
YouTube, the video. Yep. And then we got the other stuff on Anchor FM and all of that. So
Right.
yeah,
It's
we've
probably
been
close to 80
for a while.
ish. Yeah.
I think what we need to do is start splicing these clips and putting it on TikTok because
That'd be cool.
I'm actually getting, on the Coder Conversation TikTok, I'm actually getting like some views. I mean,
Yeah.
some videos got like 2,000 views and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Let me take a look. I just posted a video.
That's cool.
Like I think we could do, ask a question, then you take a crack at it, and I take a crack at it, like something like that,
All
like
right.
Coder perspective.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, let me just take a look real quick and see what the last video did. Uh, yeah, a lot of it is just like gatekeeping by the platform. So yeah, the latest video it only got 18 views, but I just posted that yesterday. The one before that has 424. The one before that has 863. The
Mm.
one before that has 1,823. So it's kind of like all over the place. at
Okay.
least you get more traction than
Yes,
what we're
traction.
getting on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, man. For me personally, what I've been doing to mix up things is uh, I'm thinking about joining like a professional gym. Um, that
Hmm.
that's probably gonna happen soon. And like I picked up that book recently. I got to crack it open, and also limiting like how much YouTube I use throughout the day. Like I'll set like timers on my phone to like limit the number of like the amount of time that I can spend on the app. So right now
Hmm.
I have like YouTube set for an hour. And then after that hour is up, the app will block me from opening up YouTube.
Hmm.
And so like my phone will basically say like the time that you use for this app is up, right? And then
Yeah.
I can't open it up until like tomorrow. And so I've just been trying to read more, and also just get more experience like talking in groups. That's
Hmm.
helped a lot because I feel like personally I feel like me talking like one on one is fine, but when I get into group settings, I
Yeah.
just freeze. And so personally, I know for a fact that like I need more experience talking in a group and more confidence, building up more confidence that way. And
Hmm.
it's been working. I've been doing it for about it's June now, almost July. I would say maybe April, since April, and that's like
Yeah.
really been. Some days are good, some days are really bad, but uh, I'm seeing progress personally. I'm feeling some progress there, which is pretty cool. And like also like you said, like just getting out of the house, like trying to get out the house and stay out the house. Uh, Something that's also helped me is like going vinyl. I don't know what the term is. Thrifting for vinyls, I guess you could say. I just going to
Hmm.
different music shops and seeing what vinyl records they have. That's been a lot
Yeah.
of fun. Some places are really weird, like I'm not gonna go back to, and then other places are like, all right,
Hmm.
this place is cool. Like they actually have stuff that I listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I kind of look forward in a way to going back in office just to start socializing with people. Like I love the convenience of remote work.
yeah,
If I had like a 30-40 minute drive, I would stay with remote, but right up the street I could do that.
yeah,
You know, like I think it's like anything. If you don't use it, you lose it. So if you're just sitting around by yourself all day,
right.
like your social skills just kind of diminish.
They diminish. Yeah, no, definitely. And like we're social creatures. We need to be around other people.
Hmm.
We need to talk to other people, like to laugh, to uh, to share ideas, right? Like
Yep.
if you're cooped up in a house all day, and then you somebody interacts with you, what's the likelihood that you're just gonna just dump the whole day? Like, oh, somebody talk to me. Let me just tell them everything that happened in my day. I used to
Hmm.
do that all the time. Like just sit at home all day, and then the first person to ask me how my day's going, I would give them like the full rundown,
Hmm.
A to Z about my entire day, and it would be like in one ear out the other. It's too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. So that's why it's good to just do something different and recalibrate.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, try new things, man. Recalibrate. I'm thinking about taking up martial arts. I don't know if I told you that.
No, nah, but I was thinking about the same, like boxing or jujitsu or something.
Yeah, I was thinking about BJJ. Uh, and there's a school out here in LA. I'm thinking about doing. I think they do have like a two week free trial,
Mm,
and so I'm thinking about doing that. And
that'd be
yeah,
good.
I just haven't pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah,
Just
I
gotta
want
get
to
like
wait till I get a new job with like good health insurance before I start doing that kind of stuff.
yeah,
I don't want to break my arm and then
yeah.
I'm
You'd be like,
just
all right, I'm
screwed.
only cool with one hand. With one hand.
Yeah. But yeah, that is good for men and women to learn how to defend themselves, especially with how society's kind of going crazy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. definitely. I've never been like I've done karate in the past. It was like small stuff here and there, but I've
Mm,
never like actually like stuck with a martial art. So
yeah.
this will be the first for me. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll
Yeah, I
let you
used to
know.
do taekwondo, but I want something more practical. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Muay Thai, boxing,
Hmm.
BJJ, or just MMA that mixes all of them up. You
Yeah.
know, I don't want to just be doing forms all day. You know, like have you ever
Right.
taken one of those old school martial arts?
Nah, I haven't. Where you
Yeah,
just do practice. You just practice forms. That's it.
you know, a lot of times you just practice forms and doing moves in isolation, whereas
Hmm.
like rarely spar. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of times when people actually try to take those moves into a real fight, they get beat up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's almost like coding. Like you can't just like do theoretical things. You have to try to
Yeah.
apply it against actual problems.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. Like I've met a couple of people who want to be developers, and they'll be on like Code Academy or like W3 schools, and I'm like, that's cool, but like you got to actually solve problems.
Yeah.
Like start building stuff. And they're like, yeah, but I don't know how. And I'm like, that's welcome to the job. That's how you do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be a good niche. Like teaching developers, but giving them like realistic things to do, not just like
Yeah.
they make a to do list with React and it's just ABC 1, 2, 3. Like
Right.
solve the actual problem. We're not like okay, build the to do list, but add this unique functionality. Like you can reorder a list with drag and drop
Yeah.
and kind of let them have a crack at it, but you could give them hints here and there. Like,
Yeah.
have you considered using this library?
Hmm.
Like, I think that's the big gap in education. Most coding education isn't like realistic. It's not like like they're solving problems and they kind of have a mentor overlooking them. It's just them copying the tutorial. Like
Mm.
they're learning
Yeah.
the
Just
language, but they're not learning problem solving.
yeah. It's just like hold my hand and show me point
Hmm.
in the direction that I need to go, and then just and then I'll follow. Yeah.
Yep. And then
No, that
once
makes a lot
they
of
get
sense.
outside of that comfort zone, it's like I can't do this.
Hmm.
Like, did you feel ready for your first job after doing like just tutorials, like off of Udemy or whatever?
Nope. Nope.
Hmm.
Like I think it's the opposite. Uh I feel like tutorials give you a false sense of accomplishment.
Hmm.
Like you think that you're ready, and then you get into the real world and it's not the same. You know,
Yeah.
like it's just it like you get a certificate from Udemy that says you know TypeScript, and then
Yeah.
you put it on your LinkedIn, but it doesn't mean anything. Like you
Right.
haven't built anything with it. You haven't written any code with it. Like you haven't
Hmm.
you don't have the time to back up like to back up what that certificate says. Like the
Yeah.
40 hours, you can't become a developer in 40 hours. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Or 300 hours. It takes a long time. And
Yeah. And
yeah,
a lot of people start panicking once they get outside of that safe like domain to where okay, I can look at the GitHub and see the answer. Like, what do you do when there's no
when
easy
there's
answer?
when there's no easy answer, exactly. Yeah, like that's where that right there is where like that's what separates certain people from becoming like a true anything. Let's not let's break
Hmm.
out of just being a developer, right? Let's break it out. Let's say you want to be a basketball player, but you only practice 30 minutes a day dribbling.
Hmm.
Right? You never practice shooting. You never practice crossovers. You never practice behind the hand moves, or going through your legs. Like somebody's gonna figure out what you can and can't do really quickly. And you're not
Right.
able to adapt, you'll lose in a real game. And so uh, you have to be flexible and be consistent with your like practice.
Exactly.
That differentiates like the good players from the the average players right there.
Mhm.
How much practice are you doing?
Yeah, yeah. Certain guys were really gifted, like Allen Iverson, but the reason
Yeah,
they never crossed over, like like a Kobe, Tim Duncan, or
yeah,
Jordan, or whatever, is practice. Like
yep,
like say like you're extremely gifted, but so is that other guy over there. So what's gonna make one of you better? He
right,
practices.
yep. It's the practice and getting feedback consistently too.
Hmm.
Like for me, like what I've been doing is when I lift weights, I'll record. Well, this is before my memory card died, but I would record myself, like my form, and like okay, and then play it back later. Like, all right, I'm doing this wrong. Like I would critique myself or like send it to people, have them critique it, and just like look at myself. Like, all right, how can I do this better? Like, am I doing this
Yeah.
right? Um, and like being able to look back at yourself and be like, all right, I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing that right. What else can I do
Hmm.
right? Like personally, for me, that's been pretty helpful. Like, I don't know if you've ever done this. Like, have you ever journaled or like recorded a video to yourself like in the past or in the future?
Well, I used to, write in a journal, but something I actually recommended, like when juniors they asked me how do I improve, I'm like, record yourself, think of some interview questions,
Yeah,
then ask yourself that question, record it, and then play it back and kind of see where you could improve, or you send it to someone who's in the industry and they can tell you. I think like finding that mentor is hard, but it helps you improve so much faster. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, you're kind of flailing in the dark. Like, how do you know like what you're doing, the practice that you're doing is actually improving you? You know what I mean?
right.
Because you could be reinforcing bad habits.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to find somebody to bring you up and show you the ropes. That could be hard. That could be hard
Mhm.
if you don't look in. But there's so many like now compared to I think when I was learning how to code, like even like way back when I was really first learning how to
Yeah.
do on CSS, like when I was 18, the, the game has changed completely. Like there's so many like discords out there now where people are all learning how to
Mhm.
code. There's like lead code discords where people are doing lead code together. There's
Yeah.
community for almost anything, and if you
Yeah.
look, it's not hard to find. You don't need to go out and pay for like interview bit and all these other services and stuff like
Mhm.
that want to charge you. Like you could, don't get me wrong, but it's not worth it. Like the money isn't worth it. Like if you really want to just, you can do it for free if you really like, if you really wanted to.
I would say it's worth it if they provide like excessive value. You know what I mean? Like they provide great value, because sometimes like the free stuff you're gonna have to sift through a lot of junk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I would say if the value they provide is a lot better than the free stuff, just pay the money and get the other thing if you can afford it. But if you can't, obviously, like you mentioned, the free stuff is there. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Um,
I just feel like I just feel like if you get to a point, like if you don't have anything, you got to start somewhere, right? Like if
yeah,
you don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
weights and you wanna get strong, do push-ups, do sit-ups. All right, start
Mm,
there, and then invest in yourself. Like slowly work towards buying weights and
yeah.
buying the right food for the correct diet and stuff.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, there's definitely ways to challenge and improve yourself for free, like you mentioned. I think sometimes those developers they kind of get stuck in that thing where they want to be cheap, and they only want to use free stuff, and they kind of limit their progress.
oh,
If
that's super limiting.
mm,
That's super limiting. I
like that. Oh, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I said like think of like Tom Brady or whatever. He doesn't just like go to some random QB coach. He hires like the best nutritionist, best
Right.
uh, you know, mechanics, coaching, etc. Like, if you want to be at that high level, eventually you're gonna have to try to get the best people around you to help you improve your game.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. Like, and I think that's where taking your uh take like taking what you earn and try to put it towards yourself. And I think a lot of people can't like let me say a lot of people can't do that. Everybody's situation is different, right? I'm not gonna say that everybody should do this. It's one thing, right? Because
Yeah,
I know everybody's situation is different. But if you have the possibility, if you have the ability to do it, like invest in yourself. And I think we've
right.
talked about this before. I'm feeling some deja vu right now, but yeah, like invest in yourself and invest in yourself and shake up what you how you perceive and consider yourself.
Yeah. Like a lot of people when you mention the word investment, they think of investments like stocks, bonds, etc. But they don't think of investments as knowledge or skill sets. But
Yeah,
like me spending all the money I did on programming books, Udemy courses, I probably spent over $10,000 easily. And people go, "Oh, that's crazy." But if that knowledge is making me, you know, hundreds
right.
of thousands of dollars a year, what
Yeah,
is $10,000?
the ROI is definitely there. No, I hear you. Yeah,
I
and
think
that
like
and
I need. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I think I need coaching in terms of because I want to start, my own consulting business
Okay.
where like how if you work to a consulting company, they're gonna charge the client like $200 and they'll pay you like 70 or something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Why can't I get that 200? You know what I mean?
right.
So I think I'm to the point where I'm like even willing to pay somebody who's done it to kind of walk me through the
I'll do that.
process.
I mean, why not? That's
Exactly.
I mean, that's if that's what you want to do, man. Like I say, go for it.
Hmm. Like I think
What
like even with this channel, like we might have to start paying people to do thumbnails. You know what I mean? Because I think
sure.
that's what makes people click on the video.
Yeah, yeah. That's we can figure that out. It's not a problem.
I
Yeah, I
think
think
like you use platforms like Fiverr and stuff, to get it done for cheap.
yeah.
Yeah, I know someone from church. She said she's willing to do our thumbnail, so I have to reach out to her. And
Okay. Yeah. Let's
but
do
yeah,
that.
how do you envision us taking this channel to like the next level? Like, what are we
I just like
missing that
this.
other big podcasts have that you like to watch?
It's there's definitely consistency, right?
Mm,
Consistency in schedule, and I think we're getting that down. And then
yeah,
clips, right? A lot of places, I think media is just now uh it's quality, quality, it's quantity with quality, if that makes sense. So
mm,
like like shorts and stuff, like those shorts, like YouTube shorts, like they lead you to the main content, and even
yeah,
not even if it's not like the actual content, I think the algorithm like helps, right? It's like,
mm,
oh, this person has watched these shorts several times. Then you
yeah,
start recommending their actual content to them in the recommended section, right? And so I think shorts helps, like cutting things into shorts, and
mm,
yeah, I think from there, like just having like topics, like we can freestyle. Don't get me wrong, but also having topics
yeah,
consistently.
yeah. Consistency, and I think we need to talk to somebody who knows how to make the stuff sizzle, because
Yeah,
like when people just see our channels, just like two guys there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
who are those guys? Why would I
yeah,
click?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's there's definitely a difference there, but I think we'll get it. It just takes time. Yeah,
Because like most of the people that have watched the channel, they say like the content is really good. It's just like they're bored on Friday. Why would they want to click on this particular one?
right. Yeah, no, that's definitely a big thing.
Yeah, I think
Definitely.
say we do more research too on like interesting topics
Sure.
that kind of help out.
Yeah. Have you hooked up the live stream to Twitch yet?
No, no, not yet. I need to though. Let me see. I think we already have a coders conversation Twitch. Let me see.
I, yeah, I think so too.
I can log into that. It says we have disabled the ability to log in with your email address. Please log in with your username. Oh, yeah. Let me see what our username is. And what are some of the podcasts that you usually watch on a daily basis?
I check out like Linus Tech Tips, every once in a while, and I'll check out Daily Basis.
Mhm.
I don't know if I check out podcasts on a daily basis. Um, but I used to watch like Noel Miller and Cody Ko. I used to watch Linus Tech Tips. I used to watch um, Trash Taste, which is like an anime podcast for a while.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think that's those are the ones I used to watch for a while. I'll look it to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I think we're at a good level in terms of general content, but I'm kind of looking for ways that we can improve. Like just like
yeah,
how we looked at our old content, it's like, oh, this is way better. Like, say a year from now, can we make that same level of progress?
right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's see.
Hold on. Uh,
Okay, log in. Man, it's crazy. Like all of these sites kind of make you go through like a huge process to log in. Like Twitch, they send a code to your email. After you enter your username and password. I guess that's good though. And did you, like security is really important. Did you hear about like a whole bunch of Bitcoin or digital cryptocurrency got hacked? Let's see what that story was. I think it was like 100 million. Yeah, another day, another crypto heist. Hacker steals 100 million from Harmony blockchain bridge. And I think y'all mute.
Sorry, I'm on
Oh, okay.
the phone.
Let's see. To the mobile phone. Okay, let's see. But yeah, just to reiterate, sometimes you just got to take risks, even if it's not immediately successful. Like me just jumping into this coding industry, it was a big risk because my degree is actually in accounting. So for me to make that pivot to a completely different field, which is software, there was a lot of risk there, but it paid off. Like, a lot of times you just get stuck in that comfort zone, that safety zone, and you start doing the same things over and over, and you wonder why you're not progressing, and that's really not the path that God has for you to do. Sometimes you just gotta do what it takes to break out of that safety net. And that's kind of like what we eventually plan to do with this podcast. We're thinking of new ways to provide content, new ways to improve everything. And, it just kind of involves taking an honest look at what you're doing. And then you can kind of determine what changes you need to make in order to keep on improving. So, in a year, if the podcast is the exact same as it was today, then we did something wrong. And then your coding career is pretty much the same thing. Like if you're in the exact same place to a year from now that you are today, you have to really reassess your priorities. Like, what are you doing? Right? Why have you made no progress? And with the way society is now, if you're not making progress, you're going to be in for a world of hurt because the tech industry is extremely competitive now. A lot of people want to get in. They want access to those six-figure salaries. So you doing the bare minimum, you staying stagnant and getting complacent. That's a quick way to be uncompetitive. That's a quick way to be stuck in whatever job you're at now forever. Um, that's the one thing a lot of people don't understand about this business is a constant grind. You constantly have to learn, constantly have to invest in yourself. You constantly have to improve your skills because if you don't and you get complacent, it's going to be very hard for you to switch jobs. You get fired from your current job, but your skill set is out of date, all old technologies. How are you going to get a new job? And the big thing now is data structures and algorithms. And I could see past that it's going to be you're going to need knowledge of mathematics. So,
All right.
you
Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah, I was just kind of giving a monologue on people improving.
Yeah. Sometimes you get pulled away from
Yeah,
what you gotta do. I didn't want to just jump off the stream or whatever, but yeah, no, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
no, I was just telling people like they're gonna have to keep on improving themselves because this industry is getting like so competitive now that you can't just be the same you were a year ago. Like
Yes.
this isn't an industry to jump into if you want to
Yeah.
just cruise.
Yeah, and also look at it like this: we're already halfway through the year. It'll be
Mhm.
July 1st this weekend, and excuse me, and that you got another half of the year to accomplish whatever goals that you want to get out there and get done. What are you willing to do? I mean, what do you not willing to do, but like what are your goals, right? And then how can you accomplish them in the next 6 months,
Right.
5 months, 6 months?
I think what's so tough is like say you buy a house, you know what I mean? You just
Hmm.
made a commitment to say, okay, I got to make $3,000 a month for the next 30 years,
Right.
15 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
So how do you remain competitive to where you can always make that amount of money? That's it's kind of a tough.
Uh, I would say I would say ultimately you don't want to do it by being in the rat race, by staying in the rat race, right? Because somebody can actuate it anytime. I would say like use the money that you're getting from your job and invest it into something on the side.
Yeah,
Build that up, and then when you can build that up and that jumps off, then you're no longer in the rat race. If you work for yourself, you know you're doing what you want to do, and at that point, it's no
mhm.
longer a obligation. If that makes sense, you don't
Right.
have to wake up at 7 to get to work by 8 and leave and then be obligated to be at one place for an hour for 8 hours a day.
Yeah. I think it's important that people kind of like, investments are good, but you got to kind of manage that risk. Like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm gonna pay my house off first. You know what I mean? Like, say you just come upon a bunch of money. Like, do you pay your
Hmm.
house off, or do you say, let me dump this into cryptocurrency and see if I can turn this into like 10 million?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, me personally, I would pay my house off. You know what I mean?
right.
'Cause once you have your house paid off, what do you have left? Like just the utilities and food. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just like that freedom.
kids. That you know. Uh, bless you.
Thanks. But
Yeah,
did you hear about like the NFL players like Trevor Lawrence? He took his salary in
oh, he jumped into
cryptocurrency,
crypto. Yeah,
and I think it's like 24 million dropped down to 9 million.
yeah. No, that's that's a it's that was a dumb move. That was a dumb move.
I think it's like I said, like pay off your debts for one.
Right.
Try to as soon as possible pay off your house, and then that just removes a bunch of stress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just say like you didn't have that $3,000 rent. You don't have a car payment. You just have like $4,000 coming in each month for you to
Yeah.
do whatever you want. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
That'd be nice.
What
That'd
do you think you would be
be
doing?
nice. I mean, it would just be I'd be saving it, man. Pocketing it away. If I was still living at the my studio,
Hmm.
paying was it 1,200 a month for rent? I mean, that'd be nice. I mean,
Yeah, that'd be
don't get me
pretty.
wrong, like it wasn't the best of it wasn't like comfortable, right? It was
Yeah.
a studio, but I mean, the money I would save like that would be ideal.
Do you feel like it was worth the move though? Because I know it's like a lot more spacious where you're at now.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was worth
Mm,
it. Like don't get me wrong, like sometimes I'm just like, man, I you know, the money's you know, the money is just like super high and gas and everything, but
yeah.
I have to look at the assets that the amenities that I have access to. You know, I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about somebody smashing my window in my car. I don't
Exactly.
have to worry about like if I want to go to the gym, I could. I could drive to the gym, but I have access to a gym on site. Or like same with like a pool and stuff. You know, so
Yeah. I mean, yeah, where you lay your head is super important. So yeah, it's worth like paying a little extra for that.
yeah, yeah, to have that security. You know, like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
confident that I can go home and have a place to stay. So
Is your neighborhood now like a lot safer than your neighborhood before?
yeah, I would say so. Not that my neighborhood was like bad. It was just
Mhm.
I would park on the street, you know, and like
You could just access your car if they
yeah,
wanted to.
anybody could have my car at any time. So I mean I've never kept things in my car, but
Mhm.
you know it's just that the possibility, you know,
You
it's
could
always
take the
there.
converter.
Right. They'll take the converter or they'll take my CD player or you know whatever my
Mhm.
battery.
Right. Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah.
Man, Yeah, I think this year, like my plan is definitely to focus on getting ready to get a house, man. That's what I really
When do you
want.
think you'll have the? When do you think you'll do that?
I would say, you know, honestly, I'm not gonna actually be able to get the house until next year. But now I'm
Hmm.
like what I'm focused on. Like, okay, I'm chill on buying this, and this. I'm you know, uh, I hope the house prices get down. I want to spend maybe like 500,000. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
In this area. So if I do the FHA loan, you need what, like 3%.
Hmm. I think
So
it's
what is
yeah, I think it's 3%. Yeah,
so yeah, 15,000, I think. So that's not too hard to do.
right. Okay.
But I can't imagine having a 20%. How do you pay $100,000? Like how do you save 100K? Yeah, that'll take like a decade or two. You know what I
It'll take
mean?
a
Like,
while. Yeah, that's hard. That's that's tough. 'Cause
yeah.
you have to you either have to pitch in, like split it between multiple people, like
Mhm.
everybody pitch in to do it, or
I
you
think
take a
that
small
might be a
loan.
good idea, like renting out one of these rooms. But I don't know if I would want like some random person living here that I don't know.
You got to trust them. Yeah, that's the tough part too. I don't know if I could ever do that. Like I thought
Like,
about getting into property management, but like, how do you pick the right tenants?
yeah, yeah, it's kind of a gamble, man. And like, what if they stop paying? It's not easy to evict them.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, you just squatting your property for months on end.
yeah. Until you lock them out.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I think that's a good note to end this one on.
Yep.
We're at about an hour, so we'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.